Here's something that caught me off guard last week. I was looking at my API bill from running a few automations, nothing crazy, just email summaries and some research workflows, and the number kept creeping up. Then DeepSeek dropped their latest open model, and after a few days of testing, I'm running roughly the same workflows for a tiny fraction of what I was paying before. Honestly, this one surprised me. If you've been wanting to automate parts of your business but kept stalling because of API costs, stick around. I'm going to walk you through exactly how I'm using DeepSeek's new model to handle emails, summaries, and research, and where it actually holds up versus where you'll still want to keep something like GPT-4 in the mix. Let's talk about the real problem first. AI automation sounds amazing on paper. You set up a workflow, it runs in the background, your inbox handles itself, your research gets summarized, your meetings get notes. The dream. But the moment you scale even a little, say you're processing a few hundred emails a day, or running daily research digests across multiple topics, the token costs add up fast. A lot of people I talk to start an automation, watch the bill climb, and quietly turn it off. That's the dirty secret of the AI automation space right now. The tech works. The pricing is what's killing adoption for small operators. This is where DeepSeek changes the math. Their new model is open weight, which means it's hosted by a bunch of providers competing on price, and the per token cost is dramatically lower than the big proprietary models. For a lot of automation tasks, the boring, repetitive stuff that doesn't need PhD-level reasoning, it can hold its own. Here's the thing though, I'm not going to tell you it replaces GPT-4 or Claude completely. It doesn't. But for the 80% of automation work that's basically classification, summarization, and structured output, it's genuinely a viable swap. Okay, let's get into the actual setup. Step 1. Get API access. The easiest path is through a provider like OpenRouter or Together AI. You sign up, drop in a credit card, and you get an API key that works with the standard OpenAI-style request format. That last part matters because it means you can take any existing automation that talks to OpenAI and swap the model name and the base URL, and you're done. No rewriting. If you've already got something running on GPT, this is a 15-minute job. Step 2. Pick your automation platform. My honest recommendation here is N8N if you want self-hosted and powerful, or Make.com if you want drag and drop simple. Both have HTTP request nodes that let you hit any API, including DeepSeek through OpenRouter. If you're already on Zapier, that works too, but the cost stack stops making sense if you're paying Zapier per task. The whole point here is keeping costs low. Step 3. Build your first workflow. Start small. Don't try to automate your whole business on day one. Pick one annoying task you do manually. For me, it was sorting incoming emails into categories: sales inquiries, support, newsletters, actual people I need to reply to. The workflow is simple. Gmail trigger fires when an email comes in. Send the subject and first 300 characters to DeepSeek with a prompt that says, classify this into one of these 4 buckets and return just the label. Then route based on the label. That's it. That one workflow probably saves me a chunk of time a week, and it costs almost nothing to run. Step 4. Layer on the bigger use cases. Once you've got one workflow working, you start seeing patterns everywhere. Daily research digests, feed it RSS items, get back a summary. Meeting notes, feed it a transcript, get back action items. Document triage, drop a PDF into a folder, get a summary in a Notion database. The pattern is always the same. Trigger, send to DeepSeek, parse the output, route somewhere useful. Once you internalize that loop, automation stops feeling like magic and starts feeling like plumbing. Let me give you a real example from my own setup. I run a content workflow where every morning a script pulls the top posts from a few subreddits and industry blogs in my niche. It used to dump the raw text into a doc, and I'd skim it. Now I send each item to DeepSeek with a prompt asking for a 1-sentence hook and whether it's worth covering. It costs me a fraction of what GPT-4 was charging for the same volume, and the quality for that specific task is honestly indistinguishable for what I need. The summaries land in a Notion table, ranked, and I pick what to write about over coffee. That's the whole loop. Now, the honest trade-offs, because I'd rather tell you up front than have you blame me later. DeepSeek's new model can stumble on really nuanced reasoning, long multi-step instructions, and tasks that need a lot of context held in head. For high-stakes stuff, client-facing copy, legal-adjacent text, anything where a weird hallucination would actually cost you, I still route through Claude or GPT-4. Many users find a hybrid setup works best. Cheap model for volume, premium model for the parts that matter. You can literally branch this in N8N based on the task type. A few practical tips before you go. 1. Always log your outputs for the first week so you can spot where the model is weak. 2. Keep your prompts short and structured. DeepSeek tends to follow tight instructions better than vague ones. 3. Set a monthly spend cap on your provider account so a runaway loop doesn't quietly drain your credits while you sleep. That's the playbook. Cheaper model, same plumbing, real automations running in the background. If this video saved you some time or sparked an idea, hit the like button, it actually helps the channel a lot. Subscribe if you want more of this kind of practical AI walkthrough, and drop a comment with your biggest automation challenge right now. I read them, and the good ones tend to turn into future videos. Catch you in the next one.